This next poem was inspired in a transnational feminism course I took. My background was in gender, both in undergrad and in my master's, and I double majored in gender and creative writing, so a lot of my poetry has a lot of gender social commentary mixed with intersectionality stuff. So this piece is called Structural Violence. He thinks that blood and bruises are the only ways that you can define violence. That cuts and sores oozing from your core is the only evidence that violence was ever in this home. And I don't know how to tell him, don't know how to eloquently string together words that could teach him that violence doesn't always have to leave a physical mark on your body in order to be present, that there are ways in which words and actions can cut through layers of skin deeper than any knife. He sits there, looking at me, wide-eyed in confusion. Why does my daddy hit my mommy? And I am speechless, searching for my theories of understanding violence behind my head, desperately searching for a gumdrop version of hope that I can feed to this kid, but all I can think of is the saran wrap glisten in his mother's eyes, and I am biting my tongue, wanting to tell him that his father's fists aren't the only way his mommy's been abused, searching for a sugar-coated version of the truth that could override the fact that her boss's hands have gone places mommy didn't like, trying to explain the reasons for why mommy didn't fight, why mommy has lit rights, why some nights, if he presses into your heart enough, he can hear mommy crying sometimes. And despite being American now, she could still be deported, would quit her job, but the family can't afford it, and daddy was too busy drinking away their money to care. And he's just sitting there, waiting, searching, hoping for me to convince him with my facial expressions that his mommy will be okay, and I stumble on my thoughts between my breath, wanting to tell him that his mommy's left unemployed, a breadwinner turned stale, skilled in a garment job that was never guaranteed. 20,000 women left displaced and deceived, thinking that NAFTA was gonna achieve their plea for rights, when really the companies just moved sites 3 miles across the border, no tariff on trade, more sexual harassment, less minimum wage, and now everything is in order, and she has just become the side effect to globalization. Noted, but overwritten, and yeah, she's breathing, but she is barely living. Many people wouldn't be quick to label this as violence, but with no job and no food, her body is now malnourished and there is no one left. So how much more physical can you get? Just because it's structural doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just hidden in the cracks and crevices of these corporations. Mop shine, sparkly clean, filthy dirt mixed with our American dream, as if there were never blood on these floors. Knock on these doors with problems and they just pack up and leave. You don't believe me? Look at South Korea and Nike, or just wrap NAFTA around your psyche because his mama was likely just another pawn up their sleeve. How do I begin to tell him that her body has become a battleground? She tries to open her mouth, but silence is the only sound because her lips have been slowly stitched shut with every hit, every threat to be deported, every complaint left unreported, every time her boss's hands went places she didn't want to be touched, flushed red with embarrassment. Like this is all somehow her fault. How do I begin to tell him that yes, sticks and stones may indeed break your bones, but words, actions, and economic agreements leave their bruises too. They're just an invisible color tone, but he is prone to understanding violence as bruises, and I just grab the remote control and stay silent. And we watch Wile E. Coyote attempt to drop bombs on the Roadrunner, watching Saturday morning cartoons, socialized to think of violence as entertainment. I don't know how to shake the irony out of this room.